Hello, this is Dr. Brian Yerson, Principal of Beverly Hills Middle School. Dr. Matt Alloway, Principal of Drexel Hill Middle School, and I would like to introduce the Middle School Flexible Learning Plan that has been adopted by the Board of School Directors. We worked with a team of teachers, building and district level administrators, and other staff members when developing this plan. Additionally, we reflected upon and incorporated ideas that we received through surveys and emails from our parents and students. Thank you to everyone who provided input into this process. When developing this model, our team considered the following assumptions. The student body at each middle school will be broken into 4 cohorts. Each cohort will consist of approximately 290 students at Beverly Hills and 465 students at Drexel Hill. Due to the CDC guidelines for social distancing and the capacity recommendations for each middle school, specifically the larger sized classrooms at Drexel Hill as compared to Beverly Hills, approximately 450 students will need to be transferred from BH to DH. Student cohorts will cycle in AM or PM sessions for face-to-face classes, affording us the opportunity to meet the social distancing guidelines. 15 to 36 students will be registered in each class, and they will be separated into 4 cohorts. During in-person classes, each class will have between 4 and 9 students. There will be a 52-minute transitional time between cohorts in the middle of the day. We will use the grab-and-go model for breakfast and lunch. When students are not physically present in the building, they will participate in distance learning. Students from our special programs, like life skills support and autistic support, will attend school within the building all day on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. These students will participate in distance learning on Wednesdays. The flexible learning model that has been approved requires students to take their 4 core classes: math, language arts, social studies, and science, 1 unified or related arts class per marking period, and 1 course that we are calling Learning Community. Dr. Alloway will give you more information pertaining to the Learning Community class later in the presentation. In this model, our students will be placed in one of 4 teams within their grade. All of the teams will have 6 teachers and 5 classrooms. When students come into the building, they will remain in their classroom for the duration of the day. The teachers will rotate from classroom to classroom to provide instruction to our students. Due to the high number of students that will be moving from Beverly Hills to Drexel Hill, we will need to shift teachers from BH to DH to support our students. Compared to a traditional school week where students would go to school 5 full days per week, in this model, our students will receive 17.4% of the traditional in-person instruction. The Drexel Hill school day will run from 8:30 a.m. until 3:10 p.m., while the Beverly Hills Middle School day will go from 8 a.m. until 2:40 p.m. All full or half-day in-service days will now take place during the distance learning days. The next 2 slides are the maps that show a breakdown of each neighborhood that will be a part of which cohort for each middle school. All of the blues on each map are for cohort 1. The yellows are for cohort 2. Greens are cohort 3. And reds are cohort 4. The cohorts were broken down in this manner to distribute students by grade to ensure we abide by CDC guidelines. Since face-to-face time represents a fraction of the current brick-and-mortar schedule, both middle schools will use the flipped classroom model. Face-to-face sessions in the classroom are used for targeted or individualized instruction, differentiation, answering student questions, and assessments. On days when all students are engaged in distance learning, teachers will offer virtual office hours, develop engaging content, and participate in professional development. Students who opt for virtual instruction only will be able to log in to synchronous instruction daily, except on Wednesdays. On this slide, we have a model schedule for our children. Looking at the top row, children in the Cohort 1 flexible model attend school in person on Monday and Tuesday mornings. During Monday and Tuesday afternoons and each period for the remainder of the week, children in Cohort 1 engage in assigned instructional content, synchronous instructional periods, and asynchronous activities for each of their courses through the Schoology platform and virtual learning tools. The online lessons on Thursday and Friday mornings are live lessons streamed from their teachers' classrooms, where students in Cohort 1 will participate virtually. A student who opts for a full virtual schedule will be able to engage with their teachers each day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, both synchronously during live lessons and asynchronously with assigned content. For all students, Wednesday is primarily reserved for asynchronous activities as teachers flip the classroom and release assignments for the week. However, teachers will have office hours on Wednesdays to answer student questions, revisit topics, and meet with parents. The outline of each cohort and how they will access their schooling is repeated for cohorts 2 through 4 on this slide and the next. Now I would like to turn the presentation over to Dr. Alloway, who will provide you additional details surrounding the approved schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yerson. Each face-to-face instructional day inside of the building starts with a slightly longer first period, which gives our children time for attendance practices and, depending on AM or PM sessions, time for breakfast or lunch in the classroom. There is a long transition time between the AM and PM sections. In the flexible learning schedule, children attend school twice each week for half-day sessions. During these face-to-face days, children will attend each of the 6 courses in their schedule. One great feature of this plan is that children do not have to rotate throughout the day, limiting close contact with many other students, furniture, and classroom spaces. During the times where students are engaging from home, children will continue to work on assigned instructional content and activities for each of their courses through the Schoology platform. In fact, due to some great feedback we received from engaged community members, the Upper Darby School District has worked with our teachers to create synchronous live lessons of instruction to provide the opportunity for more synchronous lessons with their teachers for students in both the full virtual or flexible learning models. This means that students who opt for a full virtual model will be able to tune into live instruction as well as receiving asynchronous instructional assignments. Additionally, this creates an opportunity for students who attend face-to-face lessons on 2 days of school to have live lessons with their teachers during 2 other instructional times while not in school. Wednesdays remain a day of flipped instruction, where our teachers will release the week's materials, assignments, and objectives, in addition to holding virtual office hours and participating in professional growth opportunities. Classes are 55 minutes in length, with the addition of time in the opening periods of the school day for distribution of breakfast and lunch in the classroom. Teachers will take attendance for their courses for each student in face-to-face instruction, as well as for those participating virtually. During any asynchronous instructional periods, students will indicate their attendance via the Schoology platform. The final course in a child's schedule is a course that we have named the Learning Community. The Learning Community course matches the model of the course offered at the high school and will allow each child in the middle schools to take a targeted and strategic literacy course, in addition to elective courses on a rotation consistent with the marking periods. During the Learning Community period, students may receive additional instructional support, replacement instruction, or supplemental enrichment instruction consistent with special programs, and replace this day with in-person, face-to-face instruction. To help families understand how this will work, we have illustrated these weeks and prepared examples on the next 2 slides. Thank you for taking the time to review these slides and this presentation. We have taken a lot of time to listen to community feedback, and we have tried our best to plan a robust and rigorous educational program that addresses the feedback we received. No plan will be perfect. Our flexible learning model is designed to balance face-to-face instruction, supports for all learners, and to maintain a consistent and predictable educational program, all while maximizing our ability to adhere to the health and safety guidance that we have received during this historic global pandemic. Once again, on behalf of Dr. Yerson and myself, thank you very much for attending our program.